think we can start now. Good afternoon once again. I am Rachel Isabel Kandawire, a Policy and Research Officer at FANAPAN. And I would like to welcome you all to our June series where we are focusing on youth in agribusiness. It's a mentorship web series. I would like to thank you on behalf of FANAPAN which is in partnership with AGRA, SADC, and the East African Community Secretariat in conducting this web series. The web series is a part of a broader effort to empower young agripreneurs through mentorship, visibility, and practical engagement, and is proudly supported by the MasterCard Foundation under the Youth in Employment for Food and Agriculture, the YEFA initiative. Today's theme is focusing on poultry. And why are we focusing on poultry? Poultry reflects a bold new era where youth are not just participants, but by leaders and innovators in African agriculture. As you all know, poultry is one of the most accessible and scalable agribusiness value chains for young people. Whether you are producing, you're processing, you're packaging, or trading, it's a space where small beginnings can grow into real business. But more importantly, it is also a space where ambition, innovation, and opportunity can meet. But before we dive into the program, I would like to acknowledge the presence of the CEO of FANAPAN, Dr. Shilize Mazivandila, who continues to champion for youth-led friendly policy engagement and initiatives across the continent. I would also like to acknowledge our colleagues from AGRA, whose consistent and technical strategic support is the backbone of this series. We wouldn't be doing this series without them. And finally, I would also like to acknowledge both the SADC and the EAC Secretariat, who are helping to ensure that regional policy frameworks and voices aligned to youth initiatives are being heard and are also being prioritized. But most importantly, today, I would like to acknowledge Mr. Eli Mandela, who is a youth lead from the MasterCard Foundation, the foundation that is supporting the web series under the YEFA initiative. Mr. Mandela, thank you so much for your passionate commitment to youth empowerment and agri-food systems. At this point, I would like to give you 2 to 3 minutes to greet the young people that are in the platform and to give them a few words of encouragement as we embark on this journey of empowering young people in agri-business initiatives. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Mandela.
Fantastic. Good afternoon. Thank you. Thank you for having me. My name is Eli Mandela. I work with the MasterCard. Sorry, I think there's some background noise. My name is Eli Mandela. I work with the MasterCard Foundation. I'm a lead for youth engagement and strategic delivery within our Pan-African programs. So it's a privilege and honor to join you as you're having this exciting conversation. And actually, just a personal reflection, especially around around poultry and the impact it has on young people. I think I remember when I was around maybe 8 to 9 years, the first animals that I had, I don't know if I'll call chickens animals, but the first business I ventured into was really poultry. So at that time, my parents they'd gotten chicken to have for dinner. But I was so sad that when we got to a point where we're supposed to actually have it for dinner, I said, please allow me to have it for 1 week. And then during that week, it actually had eggs. And when it had eggs, I had even more reasons to make the case of keeping it longer, right? And then the longer it stayed, I actually ended up having chicks, and then I actually started a small business, just either with eggs or chickens. I didn't really grow the business from there, but it was just a reflection of some of the opportunities that we generally have as young people. that we could utilize to help with our income, but also generally some of the things that we could be able to do where we are with what we have. And I think that's something of a great reminder that where we are as a young person, whether you have a small plot of land or if you have just a backyard, what can you be able to do with it? And poultry is such a great opportunity. The work that we do at the foundation is really about enabling young people from across the continent to access dignified and fulfilling work. And we're really honored to be on a journey with AGRA and the different partners to support entrepreneurs and young entrepreneurs to access dignified and fulfilling work, especially through the agri-food systems and poultry in this instance. And maybe as just as I close, because this is a very short a few short remarks I wanted to share, but I just wanted to remind everyone, I think if you remember during the pandemic, a few things that did not stop, where agriculture was one of the biggest ones. And actually it was a sector that many people supported, that supported very many people during a period where it was very difficult. And as we see many changes when it comes to the world of work, one thing that won't change is people needing to eat. And it's an opportunity for all of us as we're having growing populations, as we're having different changes in terms of what people are interested in when you think about proteins and some people going vegetarian. So there's a lot of opportunities within the poultry sector, but also generally within the agri-food systems. And I think it's really a great privilege to join you, to listen in. That's the main reason I actually joined, to listen in, but also excited to see and learn from all of you what you're working on, and also excite you all about the future of the continent, but also the future of the agri-food systems, that there's so many opportunities that we could use with what we have and where we are as we grow. So thank you. Thank you, Rachel. I'll pass over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mandela. You've heard it all. Poultry is an avenue that young people can follow to empower themselves. He is also looking forward to hear your voices and what you have to say from this web series. Before we go into the program, I would like to remind you that there is interpretation for French, and the interpretation for French is available. You can just look on the platform for the symbol of the globe. You're going to see it. Now, I'm just going to walk you through the flow today. First, we'll hear from our keynote speaker, Ms. Elizabeth Christopher Swai, who is the founder and CEO of AKM Glitters Company Limited. She will share her inspiring journey in poultry from small-scale beginnings to building a nationally recognized brand-driven youth and women initiative. After her presentation, we'll have a session for questions and reflections. So please get ready to engage, ask the questions, ask all the burning questions for the opportunities, for the challenges, share your lived experiences as far as the poultry industry is concerned. Then we'll hear from Ms. Mwaka Namukonda, who is the executive coordinator for Kayak. She will share insights into the agribusiness ecosystem for youth, including policy gaps, financing challenges, and how we can create a more enabling environment for young agripreneurs. And then finally, we'll wrap up with takeaways and reflections. So over to you, Ms. Elizabeth Swai. The floor is yours. Let me. Are you able to see her screen?
Yes,
You can see.
I am.
Please,
Yes,
Ms.
you're able to see.
Ms. Elizabeth, the floor is yours.
Hello, can I start? Yes, you can. Please go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon, all. My name is Elizabeth Christopher Swai. I'm the founder of a company called AKM Glitters Company Limited. I'm also managing it from Tanzania. I'll start with the history of the company. The company started as a backyard poultry keeping activities as any other African household. I started with 250 chickens, and I then started buying small chicks from farmers from the very beginning, fattening them, and then sell them as meat. And that was back in 2004 and 2007. I I registered the company officially and recognized by the policies of the country, and because I didn't want to have issues with the government. Um, what pushed me to register it as a company, when I was by that time I was working with the United Nations World Food Program, after I had worked with the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, and I used to read a lot. I used to read a lot on researches, studies by FAO, and one thing that pushed me was the fact that conclusion of most of the studies was that local chickens or crossbreeds cannot be raised for commercial. So that's how the idea came up with. My company is an integrated poultry company, and we have invested into hatchery, parent stock farm, animal feed production. We are putting a lot of efforts in extension service and capacity building, and in partnership with financiers, we also provide loans to smallholder farmers, and our objectives align with 8 SDGs: 1, 2, 5, and 8, as you can see from the presentation. Next slide. Those are some of our investment. As you can see, that is one of our parent stock farm. It's in Dar es Salaam, and the hatchery on the right-hand side. You can also see the feed mill investment, how it is now, and what we are producing in the feed mill. Our feed mill has a capacity to produce 120 metric tons a day, and we are also we are trading with smallholder farmers as well as our competitors. So we also produce for our competitors. Next slide. So that's our hatchery, and we in Tanzania we are licensed to produce broiler beds, and these beds are very adaptable in our geographical conditions here in Tanzania. Next slide. So why are we doing small-scale rural poultry? Why are we supporting youth, women to develop poultry enterprises? It's because after so many years, we did a lot of studies and realized that they can make profit, and all they needed is to address the existing problems that smallholder farmers, youth, women are facing, and these are lack of poultry keeping, business development, production, production of briquettes and black soldier fly knowledge. So knowledge is very critical into this business. We also looked at limited markets and developed a circular system, a circular model that markets are structured within what we are doing. And also for financial support, we realized that funding for agriculture and livestock is a big issue. And we decided to commit to make sure that our farmers make profit and have justification for credit facility access. So we have 2 contracts with 2 banks at the moment who are supporting smallholder farmers. We negotiated 75% zero interest, whereas youth would put in application fees, and 25% we convinced the donors or the government to give as de-risking fund to the bank so that the youth can get their 75% to manage their poultry enterprise. For high cost feed, ACAM Glitters has this year started contract farming so that we can buy directly from smallholder farmers to reduce the cost for feed. We also practice climate smart agriculture by introducing black soldier production, which is the waste management. As a result of waste management, but also use of briquettes as a clean energy instead of charcoal from trees, tree production. Let's move another slide. So that is feed mill. As you can see from the feed mill side, we have and for this, for the coming 4 years, we are going to work with 6,600 smallholder farmers. For this year, we are going to work with 600 smallholder farmers. On the side of the chicks, we have 2 wings. We have a commercial wing and we have a development wing. For the development wing, it's a community kind of a program where as the women agents who are buying feed, we have about 580 of them spread across Tanzania, working with over 1.2 million smallholder poultry keepers. So that's the development wing. We are addressing nutrition, women inclusion, and also to support youth. This year, we've engaged 340 youth, 250 from Tanga. We've partnered with IRI, 70 youth in 12 regions of Tanzania, and we've also partnered with Mercy Corps, supporting the naturalized refugees in a refugee settlements in Tanzania. We've started in Uliankulu with 40 brooders. We are now expanding to Katavi and Kigoma, supporting naturalized refugees there. As you can see, the model is supported by extension service and capacity building. That's the middle part. You can see that second in the middle. And from the commercial brooders and from the community brooders, we have on the community brooders, we have smallholder farmers. That's for purely consumption. And on the side of a commercial wing, we've developed a system whereas we have youth that are doing fattening. So we have brooders, we have fattening groups, we have a slaughter and value addition, and also for the market we have youth who are doing barbecues and things like that. So we are packaging this kind of a model so that we have the market for our youth, and also to safeguard the funds that we get from donors or from the bank as supporting working capital for youth. So what we do is we do our business. We get profit from chicks and feed sales, but we take the responsibility to do cost and benefit analysis and also to address all the gaps that are along the value chain so that youth are being supported in access of, like the challenges that youth face. So that's the model that we have, and we've not left behind the issues on environment. That's why we are also having youth who are doing collection of all waste from other youth and produce black soldier flies, which ACAM Glitters buys for feed production, and also the briquettes making for brooding activities. So that's the integrated model that we use. Next. So this is our target for this year. As you can see, we have direct jobs, and we have the jobs that are created by youth. So at AKM Glitters, we are looking at 120, but from youth, these are the numbers that you're looking with, and this is a strategy, is the target for 4 years. We do give them some assignment to support other smallholder farmers. As you can see, each youth is supposed, from the 6,000 youth, we are also having youth supporting other smallholder farmers, and each youth is supposed to support at least between 50 and 150 smallholder farmers, the ones who are keeping chickens for just home consumption. So those are the numbers that we are working with, and we track the numbers using a farmer platform. So any farmer that is involved in poultry keeping is being registered in the system. Again, yeah. So we in our company we have different departments. We have agriculture department, and we have a livestock department. We have a strategy department, and I have also the management. We have general manager, and these are the ones who are distributing the human resources into different activities that our company work. So any decision that we make in terms of business, we must look at impact. So it's an impact company, and a certain percent, about 30% of our company profits goes into matching the funds that we get, so that we can support, for example, young mothers. So we have a reason for every engagement. Young mothers, we work with young girls who are impregnated before age, and they need income. So we train them to become brooders, and they sell their chickens every month, and they get a profit of between $226 or 500 to 700,000 Tanzanian shillings. We also work on the other side, just normal smallholder farmers, the ones who are also dealing with other crops and other animals. But we also work with displaced communities, as I've already explained. So the down part there is the displaced community.
Hi, Elizabeth, we seem to have lost you. Hi, Elizabeth, can you hear us?
I think we lost her a little bit. Let's wait a bit. Yeah, I think she dropped.
Elizabeth, can you hear us? She's in.
Network, she has dropped. We might wait a little bit for her to reconnect later. I think Elizabeth is back. Elizabeth, back to you.
Hello?
Yes, Elizabeth, I think she is back.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Sorry, we had a power disconnection. Sorry for that. So let's go to another slide, please. So we also use eProd, and we provide our, for example, in agriculture, we have lead farmers. We provide them with forms, and our extension officers, we also provide them phones so that they can connect with our digital farmer platform to feed in the data, and also to allow the farmers to communicate. Say, for example, if a farmer has a problem with mortality, the farmer is allowed to send a message through a digital platform, and immediately the farmer gets the support in terms of technical support or taking the chicks to the laboratory. And on the side of the crops, yes, we also have other technical information that we take care of through the digital farmer platform. Another one. Another slide, please. So those are the types of chickens that we have. I will tell you a little bit about my life. It's not full history, but it's something that can inspire you. As any other African lady, 57 years ago, I was born. As you can see, that one is a three-month-old baby. And 2 months later, I was taken to my grandmother. So I did not grow in terms of childhood. Early 5 years, I was in the care of my grandmother in the village. And since then, the growing did not miss the growing pains which most of the youth go through. And through that, my grandmother took me through a prayer life, discipline, hope, and of course, avoiding bad habits and peer pressure. And that made me survive. My academic road is also almost the same. I went through government schools to Form 6, and I did not have a guide in terms of a parent to, because I passed it, I was selected to join the university, but unfortunately, I did not have a person to hold my hand and register me at the University of Dar es Salaam. However, during life, I managed to go through informal learning. I went through colleges, different colleges. I did different courses. Not all of them are mentioned here because it would be a long story. But then I ended up being employed by UNHCR. And also after that, I worked at UNHCR for 8 years, and then I was promoted and had an interorganizational transfer to United Nations World Food Program. So I started as a typist, and I ended up as a international professional assistant to country director of our World Food Program. I worked there for 8 years, and I did secretarial work, but I also did program work, and I supported school feeding programs, drought programs, and those are the ones that encouraged me to go through a lot of reading papers and research. And then I realized that what is being done with the UN, I can literally adopt the model of doing the same, but adding a much more complex business related idea, which by then was a new model. And literally there were no even policies to support that. But that's where I got myself into. During this process, learning has been my inspiration. And I would also want to acknowledge the learning during COVID, whereas I was enrolled at CALA. CALA is an program, AGRA-funded program, which we were lucky to be funded 100%. The commitment was to learn for 2 years, whereas our program, the program that I'm sharing with you today, was developed from where it was and added more development to where it is today, and looking at problems differently. One thing that I really look at is to understand the policies at all levels, from the government level, from the ministerial level and municipal level, because that's what guides businesses. It's not a direct kind of positioning of policies, and it's not a direct thing that any youth or any woman can access business without these policies, because the policies and procedures are the ones that guides business growth. So for the youth, it's the responsibility of us who did not any guidance to guide them and take that mentorship role to show them that you cannot find like everything on the table and change your life in a day. It takes a lot of reading. It takes a lot of consultation. I have 3 mentors as I'm speaking with, so youth should not be scared to speak about their inner growing pains or their worries or their needs, because everyone is supposed to have mentors. That's why I mentor a lot of youth using my own story and taking them through a business. And business, usually we have technical policies, but we have general business policies, from investment, from partnership with the public partnership. We have ministries that supports agriculture, that supports livestock. So all these are a package that needs to be understood very well if you really want to get into business, because all the compliances are under policies. And for anybody to grow in agribusiness or in poultry, you have to know which ministry supports your policies from livestock or from agriculture ministries. So it's very critical to continue reading. It's very critical to open up and use properly the programs that we are being offered. As you can see from what I've written on my small bio there was a course that was offered for 2 years. It was a Harvard course, which you had to give your time to learn and understand. It was financial management for CEOs. So these programs that are being offered are very important courses for youth to commit themselves and learn, continue learning, to understand how the global, the global business setup is, so that to understand what are the trends, what are the challenges, and how to address those challenges. Reading, collaboration, and understanding, personal analysis is very critical. Let's move to another slide, please. On the personal management, truly, one cannot have personal discipline, if you do not have a program for you to follow. For me, I have a program that is very critical for my mindfulness. So I do pray, I do meditate, I do physical activities. When I travel, I do a lot of walking, because sometimes it is a medicine. It's like a healing activities that support my mind. Say, for example, if I'm too worried, if I have challenges that are too heavy for me, walking and praying is very critical, because it makes me it makes me at peace. Because when you do a lot of investment and you deal with people, you deal with governments, you deal with partners, you really have to have peace. So peace is very important, and peace can only be achieved at a personal level once you have a program. You have a nutrition program, you have a recording program. Like every day, I woke up at 5, I walk, I pray, I go through the emails, I journal, I write what I want to achieve that day, and I also give up my time to support others. So every day in the evening, I have like 3 hours to listen to anybody, mostly youth who have problems. And I don't only listen problems that relate to my work, it's also personal problems, because I've realized that youth has depression, youth has growing pains, and this affects business development. Another one, please. So this is a program that I've just spoken to you about. It does not mean that everybody should go with my programs. Everybody should have their own programs at their comfort. So that's when I was a single mother, already divorced, and I was 25 years of age. That's how I started. I lived in an unfinished house. By that time, I was working. I had just joined UNHCR, so that's my kitchen, and that's where I was sleeping. Let's move. So, in order for businesses to work, youth must realize we do have good business characteristics that are very necessary for everybody who is in the business. So you should have vision, you should have time to think, you should have time to consult on strategic thinking, where you want to do, what impact would you have, what personal development would you achieve. So you have to really look at yourselves and address these issues from visions, adaptability, and resilience. I've just told you that sometimes in business we have issues that are very critical, that a friend or a mother cannot help you at all. So sometimes you need to develop a situation where as you have somewhere you can get that peace. So for me, praying, exercising, meditating, and sometimes even sitting quietly, not speaking too much to everybody, because then everybody will confuse you. So I have few mentors, I have few coaches that I trust. You should have trust. You should have trusted people that you can tell the things that they can support. So you don't tell somebody who does not wish you well. You tell somebody who would be there for you, who would listen to you. It does not matter whether you're friends or not, but a person whom you trust, a person who will give it all to help you get out of the situation. So we also have to have customer-centric approach. We should not be rude. We should not be pushy. We should not chase customers away. We should look at issues like political issues, religious issues. These are the issues that you have to be very keen when you're speaking to your customer, because when you're affecting one religion, you can affect most of them because they will speak negatively about you. So you should have integrity, trust. You should try and build a strong leadership. You should be innovative. Nowadays, everybody goes to AI, but I'm sure AI cannot give you results, cannot give you answers if you do not have the strategy, if you do not have the direction of where you want to go. So you really have to own your own business. Using AI, yes, it's easy, but then AI will develop something that is not you. It's something that will pick it somewhere. So you have to guide the AI to make sure that whatever comes out is owned by yourself. Even when you're using consultancies to develop these strategies, because all these characteristics that we must have as business people, there are experts that are doing that, but then you should not do copy and paste or allow a consultant to write as they wish, because then they will misdirect you. So financial prudence, you should have documentations that the documents that can lead you. And it's not necessary that you start with a bigger documents. You can have a business plan, 2-page business plan, simple. Write what you think, where you want to what you want to achieve, where you want to be, whom do you want to impact, because then that is a guide tool. Then you develop it slowly. And at a personal level, you may look at yourself, analyze what you're missing, You can analyze yourself. If you are an angry person, you will know. So you just put up a strategy to work on the business, on the characteristics that would affect your business. So you if you need assistance, then go back to what I just said, a trusted person who can help you. Next stage. Next slide, please. Okay, as I just said, there are some of the characters that harm you. I've already spoken to them before. We do have challenges. I think most of the challenges you've heard me speaking on me, myself. Um, some 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 people are lucky because they go through formal academic systems, whereas they're supported to university to PhD. But there is this group that is left behind. It depends with you and how you decide to be, because being a good youth is what you decide to be. So the complexities of growing up should not hold you back. We have policies. We have policies that are unpredictable, that affect us. We do have issues in accessing information. Please access information from right sources. Colleges, universities are the right places for you to access right information. If you need policies, go to the ministries. So do not just juggle into social media or into other people to tell you what to do. Take your time, look for information from right sources. That's as business formalization, for example, it differs from country to country. But what guides businesses is policies. So look at the government structure in your country and see how I can register, how or what support I can get to register my companies, because there are some of development partners, NGOs do support youth to register. Even market and competition. You just have to put up time. I remember when I was in university doing entrepreneurship course at the University of Dar es Salaam, when we were writing business plan, we were told to go to the market to look for information. What price? Why people are buying this? What is lacking? What is what? So you ask yourself, take time to visit, take time to inquire, take time to be, just get curious. I'm getting into this. Is this the right thing to do? Don't just copy because somebody did well and succeed. You have to know what the challenges and how you're going to address them. So that's with the market access registration. I know access to land is an issue, but also there are policies on land issue. Once you know the policies, then you can get to know how to access the land. Limited infrastructure, there's climate issue. So whenever you're developing your idea, look at the climate. What can I bring into change with my business? Say, for example, you saw what I just did. When I'm developing the model, I'm looking at what can contribute to climate. Say, for example, our youth at the moment, every youth is supposed to plant 4 trees around their poultry houses. And that's small thing, but if you have many of them, you have many trees. If you do waste management, that means you're helping with clean energy. So look at your decisions, when your decision for your business, for it to grow and get the people who would be working with you around that area. Knowledge, as I said before, learn, look for information. Be, look aggressively for information, right information from right people, right sources. Read good things. When you're using YouTube, don't only go to entertainment, don't go to gossips. Go to things that will make impact in your business. Also negativity on agriculture or livestock. Oh, you know me, you know me. But today, when people were calling me Machinga is a vendor. I was called Machinga, but I was called Machinga when I was mentoring 800 women who are keeping poultry between 2008 to 2012. And somebody called me a vendor just because I was walking around. But when I was walking around, I was learning, oh, okay, this woman is struggling. This is a technical side of a problem. So this side is being solved. This is a business side. So every activity must have a meaning in your life, in your business and professional life. Partnerships and collaboration. Not all partners can give you money, but partners can give you worthness. For example, I collaborate with Agra. Agra invites me to platforms like this to speak. When I speak to you, I get my own healing. I get my own knowledge. I get my own partnership. I add more people into my life. So not everything is money, and not everything is, you start today, you have a car today. No, there are challenges. There are challenges more than what I've just addressed. The gender specific, you are divorced because you're young, you don't know where you're going. Somebody has used you and he thinks it's comfortable to marry another person. He chases you away. Or you're in business, your husband doesn't want you to go into business. Or you're in business as a young man, and then your girlfriend doesn't want you to do business. So there are so many gender issues, and not only for women, even for young boys. And for these particular years, young boys are even more affected than the girls. So we really need to come up together and analyze the challenges from personal level to business level to government level. Another one, please. Another slide. So as you can see that picture, I've been visited by presidents. I've been visited by big dignitaries from other countries. For example, I was visited by board chair of Agra from Ethiopia. I was visited by President Samia. I've been visited by ministers. I get a lot of visitors. And when you get visitors, people remember you. There's somebody in Tanzania can do this. So that's how you expand your partnership. Thank you so much. I am available for any questions.
Thank you so much, Miss Elizabeth. We've covered quite a bit, from your inspiring story to the opportunities, the real challenges young people face in the industry. But now we would love to hear, by maybe through the raising of a hand or by typing in the chat, any questions that you might have, or that may help to unlock someone's idea or breakthrough. What parts of the presentation spoke to your current journey or current challenges or current needs? If you had the mic right now, what would you want to contribute to this session? So please type, or you can raise your hand and we'll give you the floor.
And the chat saying, how did you finance growth of your business?
I see some comments in the chat. Miss Elizabeth, you've given me hope and strength to continue pushing. There is also some comments. I really like how Agra is inspiring youth to get more information in agribusiness. Of course, the biggest challenge in Malawi is how young people in the rural areas can access such information. We have some questions. How did you finance growth of your business? How can you,
I've seen a question of how I financed. When I started, as I told you, I used to work for the UN and I resigned. I resigned in 2006. During resignation, I had an indefinite contract, but when I decided to resign, I lost my 25%. That means I only got 75% of my security, social security fund. But then when I registered, I lost it all the second year. 2008, I didn't have a shilling because I partnered with the wrong partner. That means I went back to zero, no job, single mother. So I just decided to continue keeping chickens. And then I started, getting loans from SACCOs. SACCOs are these small organized financial activities, whereas you buy shares and things like village saving and lending in a bigger way. So I started there, and I also started selling eggs, and meat. I was processing it at home, and then I of course I went back to school again. I did business development, and then I started also training at home. I used to train at home business, writing small business plans and doing technical training for poultry keepers. So farmers used to come to my house and they would pay me 20,000 per day. So if I have 20 farmers, that means I have about 40. Is it 40,000? For 400,000, I think, per day. So I used to do those kind of activities. So it was not easy. It was hard. And then I matured, and then I went to another level of finance, microfinance. I started accessing from smaller banks. And then the only thing that kept me going is trust. So I used to return the funds as per agreement. And then I went to a bigger loan. The first bigger loan I accessed was in 2011, where I accessed Tanzanian shillings 300 million from CRDB Bank. But I've also lost a lot of money with the bank. I lost my house in 2014, as we had gotten into a contract with a certain, I will not mention, a certain NGO to provide some services to smallholder farmers in 155 villages. We went and took a loan of 450 50 million, because they told us that they will pay us. And then when we took that loan and we did the service to the smallholder farmers, we did not know that they had a management issue within the organization, and they closed without telling us. So the issue ended up in court. But then we couldn't continue with the court case because court cases are very expensive, but also we were new into those kind of activities. So we lost that case. So I lost the house. We lost the house, and the lawyer also, I think, gotten some money from the partner, and he did not attend to court. So we lost the case as well, and we didn't want to appeal. So there are challenges around that. And in 2015, we had another matching fund where we matched 400 million, and the other NGO also matched 400 million. In total, we raised 800 million. We started construction. In 2017, we managed to put up proposal with the Melinda and Gates, and we got awarded $3.8 million, whereas we were supposed to introduce Corolla breed in Tanzania, and also to establish an extension service in Tanzania. So from there, we continued in 2019. We had our first big investment, $1 million, where we constructed the feed mill. The feed mill is a big and modern plant. We can produce up to 120 metric tons in a day. We've hired in that plant 30 people, most of them youth, and we've also initiated a contract farming for the feed mill, which takes in about 20,000 metric tons of maize every year, and 10,000 metric tons of soya. So the financing part is very tricky. Before, when we started, we didn't have investment policies. That means you had to go for collateral. This time you can have access to finance when you use insurance, for example, or you can use contracts, for example. You can use any types of contracts out there. The secret is for you to go to the bank and get to know the products of the bank, so that you know exactly how to approach the loan application. However, the banks are businesses. They don't just give money. They will ask for documentation, financial history, and documentation would include a strategy, company strategy, business plan, budget, financial model. They will also look for use of funds. They will also look for a business plan. So these are the documents that also compliance. They will go and look for compliance. They will check credit bureau to check your financial history and so many other things. Nowadays, they even check social media. So for youth, please don't go out there on a social media and display your nakedness. That's not good, because financiers go there to look for your personal characteristic. Are you serious? So please use social media wisely, and don't misuse social media at all, because it portrays your characteristics. People will want to know who you are. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I've seen a hand from Abraham. Please, maybe we can take 3 questions and then you respond to those 3 and then go on and go forth. Abraham, please go ahead.
Yes, thanks very much, Elizabeth. I would like to, my question is in regards to the support you've received. Have you received any support from the Tanzanian government? And also, have you received any support from any other NGO that has been providing you maybe with grant and technical assistance? Yeah, thanks very much. And I'm Abraham from Thrive Agri. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Abraham. I do receive technical assistances. For the past few years, I had a technical assistance from Aseli. They did a gap analysis on our company. We also received technical assistance from Spiker. They did operational processes, so that we know how our financial manuals sits into how our processes aligns with the financial manuals and other manuals that we have. And I'm sorry, I forgot about this. To develop a company, you really need to develop governance, and governance requires you to develop different manuals, from financial manuals, human resources, gender, safety policies, and all this. So growing the business, you really need to start developing these governance structures. So yes, we do receive, and I think this year we've requested some, I think 4 or 5 technical assistances. So yes, we do receive technical assistances, and no, the government has never extended a single shilling to us, but we work very closely with the government. We have very good relationship with the government. I chair an executive committee of compact agreement between private sector and ministry. As a chairperson of one of the association, Tanzania Poultry Breeders Association, we joined hands with an organization called SAGOT. We sat with the government and agreed to have a compact agreement to oversee like an oversight organization for policies and its implementation. So I chair that executive committee. So I take extra responsibilities to make sure that we also contribute to policy reviews and also policy implementation and monitoring of policies. So yes, we work with the government.
Yankomo Marwa, please go ahead. Thank you so much for that response, Ms. Elizabeth. Yankomo Marwa, please go ahead. You're muted. If not, maybe we can go to Sheena Luyima.
So much. I was not able to unmute myself, so I see you have unmuted me. Thank you so much. My name is Professor Nyankoma Maro. I'm from Johannesburg Business School. Elizabeth, thank you so much for a great presentation. I'm also from Tanzania. I had a specific question. Based on what you presented, I think you are one of the people TADB, Tanzania Agricultural Development Bank, would really like to fund. I was just wondering whether you have engaged the TADB and also the likes of PAS. And another follow-up question to that, it is, what's your involvement on the BBT, that's Build Better Future project under Department of Agriculture, and the involvement of the youth, and how do you recruit the contract farmers?
Yeah, thank you so much for the question. Yes, I've been involved with TADB. I also did a presentation on their request on poultry sector with TADB, but no, I have not been able to access financing through TADB. When I'm ready for another financing, I will definitely come and knock at your door. But at the moment, I am not looking for funding. However, I know in our strategy there are some of the serious funding needs maybe in the coming 1 or 2 years. However, we have youth. We have defined our youth. We have identified their budgets and for funding. So at the moment, we are working with 340 youth. I would not say it's a building a better tomorrow, because in livestock, the building better tomorrow only works with dairy farmers. However, I share the information with the Ministry of Livestock, and we are in discussion for them to see whether they can fund and support youth in poultry. So yes, we would want to work with BBT, but no, we've not started working with BBT at this particular time. However, we have youth, and I believe we are making their lives better for tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Maybe we should take 2 questions and then you should respond to those 2.
Yes.
Miss Sheena Luima, and after Miss Sheena, we can have questions from Abubakar Ibrahim.
Thank you so much.
Sheena, please go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank Miss Madam Elizabeth. It's been awesome. I am from Uganda, and I'm trying to develop an SPV with my fellow youth to unlock the potential, because I realized that of agriculture, I realized that it's not a one-man's job. And I basically can't go back into telling you here and there what I'm doing, but to just ask you, what do you do with that chicken? Do you give the agriculturalists the fertilizers, that thing, that the chicken droppings? And do you have other than those contracts? Because I looked at one of your challenges being the supply of animal feed, and I think that is an area that, do you think you have enough strength relationships, and you think you can continue to strengthen them so that that will bring down the cost of food for the animals? That's my question. Thank you. Question and contribution, basically.
I was not you were a bit I don't think I got your question properly. You were a
Sheena,
bit lower.
Sheena,
Oh,
perhaps
I'm
you can
sorry.
type your contribution in the chat and then we can read it.
Okay.
Mr. Abubakar Ibrahim, please go ahead.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much, presenter Elizabeth. And I'm really inspired by the work you are doing in Tanzania. And I also love to learn from you more, especially by looking at some of the biggest challenges you have been encountering in employing people with disability. Because I saw from your presentation, your company have contributed and create a lot of employment opportunity for farmers in Tanzania, but excluding 0 person with disability. What has been the challenges you have been faced in employing people with disability? Then secondly, we're looking at feed. Feed is a very big challenge for us here in Sierra Leone, especially the chicks, the livestock. So looking at what you are doing, how can someone tap on what you are doing on the feed production and wow.
Hello?
Thank you very much. Please, if you have any comments or reflections from what Mr. Ibrahim shared, please go ahead.
Yeah. You know, we work with other countries as well. We've been supporting supplies with Madagascar during the flooding of 2023. We also worked with a Kenyan lady supporting their smallholder farmers in Kenya, whereas she was receiving feeds and chicks from us. We also support Comoro during the, I think there was a typhoon some years back. We went and did and supported them with analysis after I think it was Kate. I think it was Kate typhoon or something like that. We went and supported Comoro to carry out the assessment of poultry keepers after the Kate disaster. So yes, we do support other countries as well as far as we have funds. We do support, but we also trade with other countries as well, including feeds. I think somebody asked what we do, how do we work with youth? We have prepared packages. We have about 7 packages. We have packages for brooders. Brooders are the ones who are fattening broiler or are fattening, raising chicks to 4 weeks and sell to smallholder farmers, and these are crossbreeds. They are supported with chicks. We give them credit on chicks, feeds, vaccines, drugs, equipments like feeders and drinkers, and also disinfectants. We support fatteners, the group that fattens as well, with the same package. We support butchers with equipment like chillers, rent for the housing, so that they can buy from the processing part. As for briquettes makers, we extend loans for them to buy briquette machines, and also we also provide them with a capacity building. We also support the black soldier fly production with equipments, and then also the market where as we buy the black soldier flies. So those are the packages that we work with the youth. It's all in credit. What
I think she's having network problems. Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you, but maybe she has a problem.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Rachel.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, maybe we could ask other colleagues to put questions on chat in case they still have questions, and we can move to the next session.
Yeah, we have some questions on the chat, and then we can proceed. In the meantime, I would like to thank all the people that asked questions, that engaged on the platform. It's the kind of that engagement that makes the interactions and the sessions meaningful and dynamic. Now, building on to that momentum, I would like to invite our next speaker, Ms. Mwaka Namkonda. Mwaka will help us zoom out and take a broader look at the youth agribusiness ecosystem. the opportunities that exist, the challenges, and how we can strengthen the support that young agripreneurs like what Elizabeth has been mentoring us on and helping us on need to thrive. Thank you. Over to you, Mwaka.
Hi, Rachel. Unfortunately, I cannot start my video. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, so I think Elizabeth really just covered a lot. She covered the importance of poultry and how it's changed her life, how she took the leap of faith from working every day, from a normal day-to-day job to starting something of her own. That takes a lot of courage, and I do know that at the time she was doing this, a lot of people in her era did not have the same courage. That's why today they will be able to just say you are a marketeer or a vendor, because I do understand, and it's still there right now. If I tell someone that I own a white collar job, I go to the office every morning, I'm more respected than if I tell someone that I'm funny or I own my own business. So these are definitely things that I've noticed. These are strengths that we can borrow from Elizabeth, and I'm so happy to be here to speak a part on and spread some more light on what she shared. So of course, like you had said, Rachel, why poultry? Why the youth? Why? How do we put this together? The youth of 2025 want fast money. And that's poultry farming. That's one of the best initiatives that you could take if you want fast returns. You know, poultry has short productive cycles. It's got high scalability, and it's got affordable protein sources, and it also has a significant job creation. So now, when you get the youth who are innovators and proper entrepreneurs these days, and you give them such a business opportunity, it's a plus. Now, how do we make sure that we have the perfect tools for the youth to succeed in this venture? How do we empower our youths and provide them with the proper tools? For me, I would say these webinars that you host really help us a lot. And thanks to COVID, we have the ability to actually meet from different places in such spaces. And we have chances to also meet amazing mentors and people who we can admire and follow steps from, such as Elizabeth. So these knowledge and skill training programs really are an important tool, and I really am grateful that Agra, MasterCard are really coming together. Even the secretariat, you know, they are all coming together, coming to make this work. So this is really important, and I would like to just let you know that we are grateful as the youth for creating this space. Then also, other tools that we would really empower the youth to participate more in agriculture is, of course, mentorship and networking, like we are doing right now. So I feel experience, like just like Elizabeth said, AI, as much as it has everything, it's like people who have done long distance education, or people who just show up to write exams and have a book, they will understand how it is so hard to not have a mentor, experienced guidance through and through to help you, you know. So this is very important, and I would actually like to recommend and maybe ask if you could come up with an initiative throughout the agri-food system to pick different mentors who could actually deliberately just come in and give us some pointers. I have seen in the group chat There are some people who are asking, oh, could we have a group where she could, like, Elizabeth could help us with where to get the feed, what's the best thing to do. And so it would be nice to have like a section where mentors could come and give their, you know, guidance on certain things. How do we manage climate change? How do we manage certain things without finances and so on? So mentorship is also really another tool that I would really emphasize on. Financial inclusion, of course, is one of the biggest problems throughout the whole agri-food system, not only poultry. We really, really need proper financial literacy and incubators who could help us understand to say, okay, money written on a business plan or in a financial business analysis is not usually the money that you get to use. You know, usually you can have some forecasts, but it's not usually the same thing when you get to the ground. There are inflations, there's so many things happening, and financial literacy is something that a lot of us youth need, because sometimes we do get the money, but things don't just go as planned. So proper guidance and incubation, financial literacy, and tailored products is something that we need as a tool. So, and finally, I think the most important tool as well, being the youth, is access to technology and innovations. Now that we're having all these diseases coming up from nowhere in the sky and in the atmosphere, you know, it is very important that our R&D departments really get sophisticated. Can we have specific curriculums in the tertiary sectors looking at how we can have smart farming solutions to tackle climate change, to tackle automated feedings? How do we have mobile apps for market information, veterinary advice, and e-commerce? Okay, so I have all these chickens. I have 500 chickens that I'm able to produce, or I have literally 10,000 eggs that I'm able to produce, and I'm in a far place. I'm maybe about 5 hours away from the main market. How do I get my products to the main market safely with a good transport? So all these tools are very much necessary, and I would really like that as we are moving forward, maybe in the next web series, these are some of the things, you know, that we can look at: transport, logistics, and so on. And now I'm going to talk about how we get to unlock the opportunities, you know. So the opportunities in the sector really extend beyond just raising chickens. I think even as we were starting the meeting, we had Ellie explaining to say he got a chicken that was supposed to be for a meal, and the chicken survived its life and had eggs and later chicks and so on. The value chain of poultry is very vast. So we need to help the youth see the entire value chain and identify their niche. Are you going to be in production? Are you going to be in inputs? Are you going to be in processing? Are you going to be marketing and distributing? Are you going to be in the R&D, making the innovations, the hybrids, and so on? So there are different areas that the youth need to understand, to say, I don't need to be the one raising the chickens. I can actually just call someone who's farming and market their chickens and get my markup. So there are different ways that the youth also need to understand that there are opportunities, and sometimes you don't even need the money. All you need is social media. Use your social media. Understand how you can easily make money from just seeing an opportunity. Look at Uber, for example. You don't need to own a car for you to run a service. You don't look at Airbnb. You don't need to own a house for you to be a landlord. The same thing with all these things in the value chain. There are certain things that you can actually manage without having the full financial capacity that you need. Then as you go, you scale up. So these are certain opportunities that I would like the youth to open their eyes to. Then how do we now bridge the gap? These now I'm going to talk about the key policy challenges, okay? So as much as we have opportunities which are vast, we should always actually understand, just like Elizabeth said, the systematic policy. You know, what is your country saying about certain things? What hinders you from getting the progress that you need as a youth? What limits the sector from its full potential? You know, so I'm so happy that this web series is in conjunction with EAC Secretariat and SADC Secretariat, because even at regional level, there are certain policies that we need to work with, you know. So now, when we talk about the policy gaps, of course, you talk about the access to productive resources. When we talk about productive resources, we're talking about land tenure. We're talking about finances. Okay, those are some of the biggest things that, of course, I know are troubling a lot of us. We're talking about also education and skill alignment. Our curriculum is really disconnected, and I would like to make a call that we have a look at our curriculum. When we are having these policy arrangements and when we're meeting for technical working meetings, I insist that we start now inviting also people in the tertiary sectors to also come in and understand how do we start teaching from a young age to say that you can actually have a garden in your house. At your backyard, you can actually have rear 2 chickens and have eggs, and you'll never have to buy eggs from the shop again. How do we bring in the curriculum, not only in schools, but even at home? So we have a curriculum disconnect, okay? Then also extension services. These are there's a limited reach and youth-friendly approaches. Market access and infrastructure is also a big problem in Africa. How do I manage to store my chickens? I'm from Zambia, and we've been having the worst drought for the past 3 years until recently this year when it started raining, maybe from mid last year. But we have been having load shedding that would even go as much as 23 hours. Now, can you imagine? I have my chickens and my deep freezer is just, I mean, of course it can hold in some temperature, but for how long? So there are all these certain things for cold rooms, you know, transportation, poorly organized markets, you know, that also affects the youth. Also now, the gender bias. So now I'm a woman, I'm in agriculture. My land rights, my credits, this has been the biggest problem ever. It's not even about feminism, but we need to come to a point where we understand that certain things can be done by both women and men. And so it is things that we need to change from a mindset. How do we change the gender biasness to say that, okay, my wife is actually making more money than me? How do we now push as a family? Okay, you continue with that, I'll take up this. It doesn't make you any weaker as a man. It doesn't make you any weaker as a woman to have a man who is doing otherwise. So now we have to come to a generation where you have to have a common goal with your partners, with the community to say, okay, we all have strengths. The women also can take up the positions and so on. So these are some of the gaps that I can highlight, and I'm just bringing to the case. And I'm sure Elizabeth also said so much more, you know. So now, how do we map the path? With all these gaps, how do we now move forward? So to truly empower our youth, we need a proper coordinated more roadmap. Of course, the road can never be that clear, but we need to start the journey. And by this web series, the journey has already started. Okay, so now how do we connect regional aspirations with national strategies all the way to the CSOs and local implementation. So now, for example, I'm going to talk about the regional level. So when it comes to the SADC and EAC secretariats, for me, I would advise that we have harmonized policies for agricultural development. I had a privilege where I actually was in the same meeting with Rachel, and we were at the regional agriculture investment plan for the SADC region. This was a SADC Secretariat prepared event. And I think so far the SADC is the first one that has been able to prepare this regional agriculture investment plan. And such policies that harmonize agriculture development are very, very important, because Zambia is there, Malawi is there, we have people from South Africa, and we all agree to say, okay, guys, as a region, what is really bothering us? How can we move? How do we now domesticate what we're saying here all the way to national level? You know, so from regional level, we need harmonized policies. We need to facilitate cross-border trade of poultry products and inputs. How do we have harmonized rules and regulations? Okay, how do we have harmonized vaccines for our animals? So all those issues have to be promoted. How do we promote regional research and knowledge exchange? This REB series plays a very vital role in this consistent regional messaging. So I can see that quite a number of people who are coming from different places, and it's such a pleasure that we are here talking about the same thing in the same language. Others are hearing it in another language, but we need to harmonize. As one Africa, we need to have similar rules and regulations so we move together. At national level, the governments, how do we fill that gap? We need to develop and implement youth-friendly agriculture policies. I am so happy that at the recent Kampala CADIP declaration, as the youth have been really expressed. They have really expressed in the document and even in every briefing to say we need to support the youth. And so it's a call to all of you youths who are here to say, you will not fail because they are ready to support us. So let's make sure that even at national levels, those of you who are in government places and all that, how do we develop and implement youth-friendly agricultural policies? How can we make sure that we have equitable land access for young farmers? Are we going to have a communal land that we can share as the youth for our projects? Can we rent land? What can we do to make land tenure accessible for the youth? We need to be flexible, guys. How do we break these barriers? Okay, then at the CSO level now, I'm talking about deep in the farms, okay? Deep in your civil society organization. We need to make sure once you leave this meeting, you go and also deliver practical training and mentorship at the grassroots. How can Elizabeth help us with the knowledge and delegate? She cannot do everything on her own, but it has to start from somebody. How do we facilitate access to resources for young farmers? As Kayak, we are now institutionalizing as a consortium, and we want to make sure that we share one voice for all the youth. How do we now get all the resources and say, Malawi, we have a funding for poultry farmers. Do we have a poultry farmers association? Yes, come together. Let's see how you multiply this. Ethiopia, how can you manage this funding? So on and so forth. The money is here. It's coming. So let us just be ready for what is coming. Let us be prepared, because preparedness meeting with opportunity is the best couple ever. So that is what I'm going to talk about. And finally, before I finish your time, I would just like to emphasize to say the future of agriculture and our society really rests on our shoulders as the youth. I don't know if some of you have been able to watch certain movies that show like an end in time when there is a scarcity in water, there is scarcity in food, there are zombies around, you know, and these things, I feel, to an extent, will come to happen. But Africa should be prepared for these things. Climate change, you know, how do we make agriculture sustainable? How do we practice agriculture sustainable? We're going to have our children will have their children, and so forth. How do we preserve our land? We need to be as innovative as possible and also make sure we borrow from our ancestors. How are we still able to live a good life today because of the way they lived life before? How are we able to produce proper productions with less fossil fuels? So all these things need to be looked into. By providing the right tools, we really want to insist to say that AGRA, MasterCard, FANAPAN, the secretariats, please, we implore you to provide more of these tools, and we know you are doing your best. We highlight the vast opportunities, and collaboratively, we address the policy gaps across all levels. We are not just empowering individuals, we'll be building resilient food systems, stronger economies, and a truly sustainable future for all of us. So with those closing remarks, I just want to say thank you so much for the opportunity, and I hope I covered my time well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mwaka, for those insightful perspectives and remarks. To receive calls that you should introduce yourself, maybe you should write your contact details in the chat so that a few people from AGRA can reach you. Thank you. And finally, I would like to thank you all, our participants, our speakers who stayed engaged, asked questions, and brought this session to life with your energy and curiosity. We've heard an inspiring story that shows us that poultry business is not just about chickens, but it's entrepreneurship, it's leadership, it's innovation, it's inspiration, and it's also a reminder that we can build something powerful from humble beginnings. As Elizabeth said, that it started as a backyard business. And through Mwaka's lens, we've zoomed out to see the broader picture, the enabling environments, the policy gaps, the opportunities, the ecosystem players that all must work together to unlock the full potential of young people. If you still have questions and reflections that were not addressed during the session, please feel free to drop them in the chat. FANAPAN will compile the response from all the speakers and share them on the FANAPAN website in the coming days. So stay connected and keep the conversation going by checking out the FANAPAN website. And finally, I would like to express my deep appreciation to the following people, especially to Miss Elizabeth for her openness and her willingness to share. Very few people that have attained the level of success that Elizabeth Swai has do not even want to be bothered with the platforms, with NGOs, with regional organizations. They just do their things without sharing. So that is greatly appreciated, and you should also do the same to other platforms that may need your inspiration and your mentorship and motivation. To Ms. Mwaga, thank you very much for being available, for making your time and clearing your schedule and share your practical insights. To our partners, AGRA, SADC, and ESC, for the continued collaboration, thank you very much. And also to Mastercard Foundation through the EFA initiative for supporting this Youth in Agribusiness Mentorship Series. At closing, I would like to leave you with this. Let us not just participate. Let us shape. Let us not wait to be invited, but let us lead. Because the future of African agriculture depends on bold, creative, and supported young people like you. Thank you very much for being with us today. Until next time, keep rising from the COOP. Thank you very much. Have a good day and enjoy the rest of the week. Bye-bye.